Well, ladies and gentlemen, Wuchang Fallen Feathers has officially released as of the making of this video, and people are flying in to play this game. The game is currently sitting right now at 107,367 players playing on Steam just 6 minutes ago. Even if I were to refresh this, it now bumped up to 109,485 players on Steam. This game is absolutely going to do bonkers numbers, but the reason why we're talking about Wuchang is because there is a certain group of people that is very well known for attacking Chinese-made video games or Asian-made video games in general that happen to showcase a pretty main character, right? If the main character is a female and she's pretty and you're able to play dress up with her, apparently that's a problem and that's a no-no and it's not allowed. So we have a couple of tweets here that I want to go over that are reviews from some mainstream establishments that are all very questionable, that are all talking about how this game is a gooner game, right? And I swear to God, they continue to do this every single time. They try to disparage Black Myth Wukong for having no female representation. These are the same journalists that try to tell you that they're the ones you should get your gaming information from. And meanwhile, they tried to tell you that Black Myth Wukong had no female representation. They also tried to tell you they reviewed the game objectively. Meanwhile, at the end of chapter 1, or at the end of chapter 2, I should say, at the end of chapter 2, you are introduced to the sisters. There's literal multiple female characters in the game, which means they never completed the game. They never even got to the end of chapter 2 of Black Myth Wukong to see the female representation. But with all that being said, they did it with Stellar Blade. They said Stellar Blade is a gooner game. They said the only reason why Stellar Blade is successful is because Eve is hot. And now here we have Wuchang Fallen Feathers. And guess what? They're doing it again. So we have a review here from, what's this guy's name? Like Jesse something. I have another tweet for him. We'll go over it. But he gave the game a 9.7. And he said pros. Gorgeous visuals, fantastic soundtrack and voice overs, finely tuned combat full of options, an intriguing story that earns its endings. Difficult but fair. What are the cons, you might ask, out of this 9.7 out of 10 game? Gooner approved. Apparently, that's the con. That is the only con to this game. It is a gooner approved video game. They only do this with Asian video games. They only do this especially with like Chinese, South Korean, or Japanese video games. That's the only thing. So you mean to tell me you wanted to give the game a 10, but you did it because the character is too hot? Or because she's too much fan service? What the fuck is wrong with you? And then he tried to play it off as a joke, which, by the way, worst thing you could probably do with something like this, but he tried to play it off as a joke. And Learning the Law says a grown-ass cheese McChungus journalist known for supporting Halo feminist movement tried to shame gamers with the fake gooner joke over Wuchang Fallen Feathers, when in reality it was just projection used to claim moral high ground. Now he's deleted his entire profile. If you look over here at this picture, you see Jesse Norris, the journalist who wrote this. It says, feel annoyed at myself. I see that Halo is celebrating Women's History Month, but forced to turn off the replies because of shitheads over on Twitter. My first thought was, oh, that could be an article, which is the exact type of shit I don't want to do in games coverage. SEO, bait, social media shit. So why are you doing it then? That's literally what he's doing. He is baiting people with the gooner approved stuff. He knows what he's doing, bro. So people are mad because in Wuchang, you can walk around in her underwear with some slight ass showing. Keep in mind, Eve had way more showing, right? And Eve was also way thicker. But it doesn't matter. If you can do any kind of fan service like this, that is a big no-no. Apparently, that is gooner material. But I guarantee you, if the main character was a man and you were able to run around in underwear and you could see man ass all day, Jesse would rate it a 10 out of 10 and would have zero problems with it. We all know that's true. So let's go over here. Now we got some really egregious shit, okay? We got PC Gamer, and PC Gamer is probably one of the most, like, taken over websites by far. We're talking about hardcore activists, right? We're talking about people that have reviewed all these Asian games before and always has to talk about gooner, 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 gooner. The girl looks like a doll. She doesn't look real. By the way, they got felted with that whole bullshit when it came to Eve, because Eve was obviously based off of a real supermodel in South Korea. So that whole, oh, she's not realistic, she's not a real woman, that got thrown out the fucking window. they can never, show their face there again. But they're trying to do it again, right? So Pirate Nation says this is the absolute state of gaming journalism. PC Gamer gave Wuchang a 49 score. A 49 score. They criticized running around in underwear and the character design to be eye candy. Look at the amount of cope. Oh my God, bro. Look at this. At the top left, Wuchang seems to be doing fine. So fine that her body remains perfectly doll-like to dress up in clothes that have absolutely nothing to do with the game's gruesome version of China during the Ming Dynasty. What the fuck does that matter? What does any of that matter? These are Chinese developers making games for their own country. Like it's for themselves. Obviously they're releasing it worldwide, but this is what they like, right? They like doing this shit. This is in many different Asian games. You guys complain about it every single time, and then you get mad when other people complain about you all the time. It just doesn't, like, you guys got to realize after a certain point that nobody fucking cares, bro. Look at the numbers. Garrett, yep, they went up again. 111,362 as we continue to film this video. Nobody cares. This is the kind of game people are looking for. Fantastic character, semi-attractive or attractive character, a lot of customization, which, by the way, FYI, a lot of the customization features, the cute outfits, the underwear, all that stuff, the dresses, guess who's going to be using that a lot, right? Guess who's going to be dressing up Wuchang a lot? It's not going to just be the men. It's going to be the women, too. Women are going to be streaming this game talking about how cute they look with Wuchang's outfits. How much you want to bet? I would bet all the money in the world that that is going to be a thing, because I saw that happen with Steve, oh my God, with Eve from Stellar Blade. I saw that happen all the time. You had women, they were out there on Twitch trying to say how cute Eve looked and how they would experiment with all the outfits and whatnot. They do it all the time. So why are you sitting here pretending like women are not partaking of this and you're calling it gooner material? It's so stupid, man. But Wuchang says that a lot of gear you can wear barely covers her up and looks like it came from a premium cosmetic shop, which, why would that be bad? Why would that be bad? Why would it be bad that the gear looks like it came from a premium cosmetic shop? That means that the gear looks really good, and they're only charging you the single entry price fee to play the game. Why exactly would that be bad? That wouldn't be bad at all. I feel like that's perfectly fine. But which we'll have on launch. It wasn't available in my pre-release copy. The game is so unserious about this that the best armor for resisting a lethal status affliction had me running around in my underwear. Again, why does it have to be super serious? This is a fantasy game, right? This is a fantasy game. Why does it have to be super serious? I don't understand. You guys are always the ones that say, oh, this black person should be allowed to take over this white character because it's just fantasy. It doesn't have to be serious. So why can't you guys keep the same energy? You never can keep the same energy. It says it's hard to feel the gravity of the situation as I wade through pools of blood and listen to the cries of people who have lost their friends and family to a horrifying disease when I'm playing a character designed to be eye candy. So what? You can only take the story seriously if she's an ugly fucking bitch? That's the only way you can take the story seriously? I don't get these people. I really don't. Are you guys even in reality? Is your ideology having to be maintained so important that you put out shit that makes zero sense every single time? What does her looks have to do with her ability to do any of this stuff? I don't get it. Part of what's so compelling about From Software games is the imaginative ways they blend horror and humor in their worlds, like wearing a ridiculous mushroom outfit that gives you immunity to Scarlet Rot and Elden Ring. As absurd as some of these things are, so why is that absurdity allowed, but then you can't have absurdity in other places? But if you think that's where it ends, that's not where it ends, because guess what? The Gamer, another hardcore activist website, has to jump in on this and review Wuchang. And they call it an uncomfortable and tasteless depiction of women. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. You guys literally are full of shit. In every capacity, you are full of shit. I don't think you could be more full of shit. I really don't. I don't. Let's read this little snippet. It says, unfortunately, for all of its unique appeal, there is one increasingly common problem in the game industry that Wuchang suffers from, and that's a skeevy attitude towards women. How much you want to bet the gamers trying to jump on this whole depiction of women nonsense because of what's happening with Collective Shout? I guarantee you, now that Collective Shout has made a little bit of prominence on social media, they're going to try to go back to the whole, this is a bad look for women. So what are you going to do, ban this game too? Is that what you're going to do? You just look stupid. Anyway, before the cries of woke gamers start flooding in, no, we're already there. You are absolutely a woke gamer. There's no denying it. I would like to preface that I'm able to enjoy the games that cater to the male gaze. I like Stellar Blade. What do you mean the male gaze? These games are meant for women too. Women like dressing up these characters. I'm a Marvel Rivals enjoyer. I acknowledge that very clearly have a place in the industry, whether I want them to or not. But Wuchang is not a game that should have partook in it if it wanted to tell a serious story. Why not? Why not? Eve's story was a lot of fun, and you could dress up Eve like crazy. I like the story of Stellar Blade. What's the problem? It's extremely distasteful to depict women going through untold horrors only for you to find multiple armor sets as you run around in their underwear. Bro, so you mean to tell me it's okay if men do it? It's okay to showcase men going through untold horrors? Yeah, of course it is, right? Because you guys don't give a fuck about what happens to men. That's truthfully what it is. You guys don't care what happens to men. You don't care about men's rights. You don't care about any of that shit. You would be perfectly fine with seeing men just get completely thrown to the wayside. But the moment a woman is depicted in any of this shit, you guys have a problem with it. It's ridiculous. And then on top of that, too, you guys are the ones asking for female representation. And now that you got it, now she's not mannish enough? Now she's not what you want her covered up in what? Samurai armor? Like, what do you want, bro? You guys are never happy. And it's funny because you say that we're never happy, but you are legitimately never happy. You could tell a story about the depravity of an invading army as long as you treat barbaric acts with required sensitivity. No, it's a barbaric act. It's not meant to be sensitive. Do you guys realize you just asked for sensitivity on a barbaric act? That is an oxymoron. Throughout the game, you'll see women strung up. Okay, what about the men? Weeping in dark rooms with a slither of a health bar? Bro, you're just making me want to play the game. And one of the main story threads of the game revolves around an evil queen who kidnaps women to experiment on them in order to create the perfect bride for her son. Bro, you literally are making me want to play the game. It would have been fine if Wuchang had treated this story with the gravity it deserved, but you can then find the clothing of these women and read about how horribly they suffered, only for the game to giggle as your character breasts boobily in those same clothes. It's just gross. It's gross, apparently. It makes vast sections of the game feel uncomfortable to play through. It's gross, guys. Think about that. This is gross, but Dick and Balls in Baldur's Gate 3, oh, that's not gross at all, according to these people. That's not gross at all. That's to be celebrated. Oh, by the way, you want to fuck a refrigerator and date everything? That's to be celebrated. Hell yeah, right? That's what these people think. But oh, a real woman with a little bit of jiggle physics in a fantasy game where women are going through suffering? That's just too much. That's too much, man. So the pros and cons. The Impetus repository is clever and offers endless experimentation, a handful of excellent boss fights, and some impressive level design. Here are the cons. Far more boss fights than are either too easy or brutally unfair. That sounds fun. Confusing semi-open world segments that are difficult to navigate. An uncomfortable and tasteless depiction of women. Honestly, man, this entire thing is a joke. So here's what I'll say. We went through a couple of the mainstream establishments and how absolutely pathetic they are in their attempt to try to disparage another game like this. We saw this happen with Black Myth Wukong. We saw it happen with Stellar Blade. And guess what? Just like I predicted many months ago, I said this. I remember saying it on stream. I said that the mainstream journalists were going to attack Wuchang Fallen Feathers. They were going to call it a gooner game. They were going to do all that nonsense. They are unbelievably predictable. And now they're here trying to do it again. Well, guess what? Within 9 minutes, you failed. Within 9 minutes, you know what? Let's refresh. Within like 15 minutes, you failed. You failed miserably. And after this video is done, I'm going to add one more to this number. So you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below for these urinalists out here. What do you think about it? Do you think they're right? Do you think Wuchang is a bad depiction of women? Or do you think these guys are wholly unserious, an absolute joke? And it's no wonder why AI has taken over for a majority of journalists and why there's only one or two left at every establishment. You can let me know whatever you may think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like and subscribe and go play Wuchang. And I'll see you guys on the next one.